What is going on, Sabres fans? Welcome to another episode of Sabres Spotlight with your host Matt and Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
Not much, man. It's a cold Buffalo night, I tell you that.
I got my winter hat on this week because it's a little colder, and I always record in my garage. So, yep, we're bearing the elements though. We're from Buffalo,
Dude, it is so funny that you record in that garage. That's dedication.
dude. I'm telling you, there's no other option. Just the other day, me and Katie were talking about how I forget what I was doing. I was downstairs, like I don't know, singing or talking to myself or something, and Katie was like, I could hear every word. So I'm like, you could never record in the house, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
It's so funny because it's similar for our house. If I'm like downstairs, like playing a game or like talking to my friends on PlayStation, and Lexi will be like, "Yeah, I can just hear your entire conversation." I'm like, "Oh fuck." So it's
Yeah,
man, you know what we need to do? We just need bigger houses. Let's
yeah.
crash the housing market, and let's go. Let's get bigger houses.
I just need my work to give me a pay raise, and then I can do that. That's fine. So if you're listening out there, just go ahead. Yeah. But you see this, I got this. The studio's starting to bump, man.
The studio.
I got my Sabres calendar. I got my boy Jeff here, the dog days calendar with Raven the dog, and then I got, of course, you know what is that? We got the Ad Sabres spotlight right there. If you're watching on YouTube.
Love it, love it.
All right, man. So we'll start with some intros here before we get into the Sabres talk, which is actually it's going to be somewhat positive this week. I think they've been 2-1 since we last spoke. But what's going on with you, man? What's new?
Well, I feel like I've barely seen my wife this week because she's been sick for like 3 straight days. So I come home from work and she's feeling like shit on the couch or in bed, and I'm just like hanging out and doing my thing in the basement. So it's been a bit of a weird week in our household. How about you?
A lot of game time.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of hockey, lots of gaming, so it's okay. I feel bad for her, man. It sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst, man. It's the worst. I mean, the sickness is going on. I mean, I've been sick honestly for like 3 weeks. It's been like I like a couple weeks ago, or like maybe like 3 weeks ago, I got this cold, and it was like at its peak for a couple days, and now it's just lingered. And like I don't know, I don't get sick very often, but when I get sick, I just like stay sick forever, and it's just like
Well,
it's minimal stuff right now, but it's just there.
you get man sick. Man sick and woman sick are two completely different sicks. Like, dude, I don't get sick at all. I'm gonna knock on wood right now because like my immune system is insane, which is fucking crazy because I was like a 28-week-old baby, like very unhealthy. It's like a miracle I'm here, like honestly. But my immune system is fucking awesome. Like I rarely get sick. Watch, I'm gonna get sick next week and be pissed that I said this. But but when I do get sick, I'm like a little baby.
You know what it is,
It's
man?
so,
It's that job. It's all that fresh air you get.
dude, I
You're not
know.
contaminating.
I feel like my body is like made for it. It's crazy.
See, like I'm in the clinic, so I'm like cleaning tables. I'm using chemicals all day long. Like my lungs like hate me.
No, I'm out there raw dogging the elements, dude.
Running away from dogs and just raw dogging. There you go.
Yep.
Well, I've had a lot of shit kind of going on. Before we do that, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. It was really good. Again, my wife's mother was, sick for a little while, so we had to cancel Thanksgiving at their place, which sucked. I mean, the worst time ever to get sick, but she's doing okay now, so it's great. So it was weird. Like I never eat at my parents' house. It's usually just dessert at my parents'. So I'm sure that they were happy that I was there like the whole time, and it was really nice, honestly. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
So you didn't get any of that Golden Graham dessert?
No, no. And you know what's funny? I talked to my aunt about it, and shout out Dylan again, absolute stud ball. His mom makes
Yes.
the best dessert of all time. But no, no dessert there at that party. They weren't there, so or they were there, but it wasn't made.
Well, I had a good Thanksgiving as well. I did a double eat. So we went to my parents at like 12, and then the in-laws at like 5, and it was just like, dude, I don't know what it was this year. Like if it was the tryptophan hitting me more this year, or if it was just like my lack of sleep because I have a 4 month old. But like after this first meal this year, I was like I was like ready to sleep, dude. I was like done. It was like 2 o'clock on my mom's couch, and I was watching that Lions game, and I was just like falling asleep.
Dude, it's got to be a nightmare to pack up both of your kids, especially with Owen being 4 months. Oh my God, like what's worse, like getting Ryan in the car or getting Owen in the car?
Dude, we have to like get ready for like 2 hours. Like if we're leaving somewhere, if we gotta leave at like 10, we start getting ready at like 8 o'clock.
It's so funny because all the parents that are listening to this are like, "Yup, yup," and I'm just like, "Damn, that's crazy."
I want to like not make plans because it's like going to a Bills game. It's just like an all day event, no matter what you do, even if you're just going to like the doctor for 20 minutes.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh my
Especially
god,
now
I
with
have
the
a lot to look
snow.
forward to.
It's snow boots,
Oh,
it's snow pants, it's gloves, hat, it's everything. Oh my god.
and if she's not cooperating with you guys, it's got to be so frustrating.
It's yeah, she's pretty good, but oh my god, yeah, it can be a disaster. But in even bigger news, obviously Thanksgiving was great, but your boy had a birthday on Monday, so like super pumped
Yes,
about
happy
that.
birthday again. Awesome.
So we had family over on Sunday for the Bills game, which honestly, my family was there for the first half, so like then people left, so people were there for the
Oh
good
fuck.
part, and
You
then
know,
I was just alone for the shittiness.
I never even thought that like your family might have been there for the fucking absolute debacle by the Sean McDermott Bills. Thank God they weren't there because the way you act, oh my God, your wife would have been like, "You're embarrassing me."
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been more tame this year. I have been way more tame this year because I've just accepted it. I've just accepted that
Dude,
it's
we've
not going
reached
to happen.
apathy with the Bills. It's apathy.
It is total apathy. It is total apathy. But you know what? I can't complain because they got rid of Dorsey, and that's all that matters. I could not stand that man, and I haven't taken a
All
victory
that's
lap
what's
on
cooking.
him. But you know what? I'm just like, I mean, yeah, yeah, he needed to go. So
Yeah, Dorsey was the Antichrist. I'll say it. Just
yeah, I don't
and
know if McD
Joe
is
Brady
next, but
comes
we'll
in here
see.
and yeah, McDermott's next. I really feel like he is. It's man, the Bills just so disappointing.
All right. So, and for any of the listeners out there, if you're a Buffalo sports fan, I'm sure you listen to Joe Marino, Locked On Bills too. Which, by the way, did you listen today to Herd Mentality?
No, actually, I did not. I did not.
All right. So I'm gonna just a little spoiler here, but like the last question, it's like whatever. It's like a 34-minute show. The last question, he asks someone sent him an email about like McDermott, and like he answers it, and he's basically saying how like McDermott is like the response. There's a lot of responsibilities as a coach, and they wear a lot of hats. They play a lot of roles, and like McDermott, he's good at this, good at this, good at this, but maybe not like the best game manager. But like, was he the right coach for the right time to get us where we were to maybe like develop some of these young guys, instill the culture? Yes, but is he the right guy now? And as I was listening to him, I was like, is this the Sabres too?
Yeah, like dude, there's parallels here. It's
There
actually kind
is.
of wild. I
There
think
is
about that
definitely
all the time.
parallels. So if you're listening to this right now, and chances are like you're also a Bills fan and already listening to Joe Marino because he's absolutely huge, like listen to her mentality from this week, that last question, and it's just like that's what was on my mind for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I could see how you could think of like Don with that because, like we've said, I mean, we've said privately in text, like, and on the show too, how we're just skeptical that he was the right guy at the right time, but is he the right guy for the future?
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, he's got a lot to prove, that's for sure. But before we get into shout outs here, I got two other quick notes. I'm watching a new show on Apple TV called Monarch. It's basically about like Godzilla, like the
Oh
it's
shit, really?
oh yeah,
Dude, you
dude,
got
it's
a new show every week.
dude, Apple TV is where I live. I'm actually watching two shows right now on Apple TV, but Monarch just started, I think, like 2 weeks ago or maybe last week, and it's pretty good. It basically tells like there's only been 3 episodes, but it's kind of like the story of the Monarch agency, like kind of like how it came about and stuff. But it's got some cool like visual effects and it's had like a couple monsters in already. It's pretty cool. And then I don't know if I told you. I think I told you, but my daughter Riley, she's like crushing her potty training. Like she's like, I think we're like
Yeah,
almost
dude,
all the way
that's
there.
so sick. When you told me the first time that she uh took a shit on the potty for the first time, I like wanted to cry. I was so proud of her.
Dude, so get this. Okay, so last night, so she's. I mean, this might be TMI for like the listeners, but like, so she's kind of like one shit a day. Like she's usually good for like one, right? So anytime she doesn't go, we're like, all right, is like it's not a huge deal if she missed a day. Like I get it, but like, and we're like, oh, is she like holding it in because she's scared to go on the potty or whatever? So like last night we're sitting there and it's almost like bedtime. We're just playing in her room and she had tried to go a few times already and she sat on it and wouldn't go. Like again, she gets like somewhat like scared sometimes, so she's like she gets like this look on her face, and I can just tell. And she's like, I gotta go potty, I gotta go poop. I'm like, okay. So it was hysterical too, because she's starting to say so much more shit. So I pick her up, and she's like, hurry up, and I'm like. And I'm like, first off, I'm like, how do you even know that phrase? Like, I don't even like. Maybe you heard it somewhere, but literally, as I'm holding her, taking her over to the potty, she's telling me to hurry up. So then I sit her on,
That's fucking hilarious.
yeah. So then I sit her on the potty, and she must have really had to go because she goes real quick, like pretty big turd.
Was it
Like it
hurry up?
looks like
It
it
was
looked like looked
it
like a
was
grown adult turd, right? So I'm like, all
it
right,
was like a
nice.
hurry up situation.
It was. It was a total hurry up situation. So I'm like, all right, Riley, nice. That's perfect. We're all done. So we go back in the room. We're playing. I'm not kidding. 3 minutes later, Dad, I gotta go again.
Oh
she's telling me
shit.
potty again. So I pick her up another decent sized log. Like, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, she's definitely done. She's definitely
What the fuck are you feeding this child?
so we go back 3 minutes later again. And at this point, I thought she was just
No
messing with
way.
me.
Yeah.
I thought she was just messing with me. Another one, three last night, three
What?
like again, all like decent size, and I'm like, all right, this is
Jesus
like.
Christ. Dude, you should. All right, next time you'd be like, all right, you sit here until you're done. Like, until you're really
I
done.
thought she was. I'm like, oh my god.
That's fucking. I mean, great job. I mean, for her to do that and tell you and be
Yeah,
like, hurry up or I'm gonna fucking shit my pants here. Like, fantastic. That's amazing.
that shit was funny though. When she was like, hurry
You
up,
know,
I'm like, I know that
buddy.
feeling.
Trust me, I know that feeling better than most. Dude, my buddy Colin is gonna resonate with this conversation so much because he's got little ones. So it's gonna be so funny. But
Is this a
man,
formal shout out for Colin? Because
yeah, formal shout out for
we're on to
Colin.
that segment
That's
here. So
that's my guy. Formal shout out for Colin. Great coworker. And I got my other two coworkers, Randy and Jeff. We're at lunch today. We're at lunch, okay? We went to Dash's because it was fucking cold outside. So we're like, let's go get lunch. And they're like, how come you never shout us out on your podcast? So you know what? This is your formal shout out. I love you guys. Shout out
who's
you
it?
guys. Thanks for
What
listening.
were the
My
names
buddy
again?
Randy and Jeff. I don't think
And
Randy's
Colin.
gonna listen. And Colin. Randy's not gonna listen to this podcast. He doesn't listen, but Jeff listens to every episode. What a great guy. Just thank you guys for listening and telling your friends about us. But shout out to you guys.
You got a favorite out of that group?
I do not. You know what?
You-
It's funny. It's funny you say that because we got our Christmas party coming up for my station. We're gonna have a Christmas party,
oh yeah.
and if I get a couple pops in me, they might be able to get a favorite out of me.
But that's solid though. That's
Because
good
I'm
planning. Like you don't want to alienate one before the party because
oh
you want to try
yeah,
and maximize
exactly.
gifts from all resources.
I'm not kidding. I'm getting fucked up for that party. My like Lexi's coming to pick me up. I don't give a shit. I'm getting fucked up.
Dude, how long have you been saying pops for beer or drinks?
Ever since I heard like hockey players call them pops, I started calling like
I
it
know.
was. I
I
think it
love
might
it.
have been. I think it might have been like Craig Rivet at one point told the story about how he had a couple pops, and ever since then, dude, I'm like the most unoriginal person. I just pick up someone else's lingo and just start saying it, so that just kind of fused into my brain.
I love it though. I love it though. Pops is a good one. Pops is a good one. All right, dude,
Who you shouting out?
I got two shout outs. I got a shout out first, my dog Belle, because today is her birthday and she turned 5.
Oh shit! Happy birthday, Bill! I'm about
Yeah.
to go comment on that on Facebook right now. I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Yep. So Belle is 5, and that's crazy. It's been 5 years already. But so we were joking because obviously Belle like loves the snow. Like she was born in the winter, so snow is like the first thing that she's ever like experienced. So
Well,
she's
dude,
always loved it.
she looks like a snow dog. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, totally. Well, that's the husky in her. But like so like we were saying how like today was meant to be that we got a little bit of snow because it was her birthday. So she ran outside and
Oh,
was playing in it.
that's sweet.
And then, dude, I got to shout out the Twitter community, man. We had a little viral post between now and last show.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool, and I think I gotta prop up the Sabre report because I think they were the ones who retweeted us who who made our tweet viewable to a much larger audience
Yes,
because
yes.
they got like a million times more followers than us.
Yeah,
So,
I think it
so
had like
shout out to them.
35,000 views, dude.
Yeah,
Something crazy like that. So that's kind of
yeah.
nice. I mean, we're just this little podcast trying to like make it big, and it really helps when those guys like retweet our shit and get it to a larger audience.
Yeah, for sure. So it was kind of cool. It was an interesting thing too because like it was after the Pittsburgh game and they were interviewing Tuck on national TV on TNT, and he did. I don't know if he meant to. Sometimes you say things in the heat of the moment, you don't, and then when you look back, you maybe regret it. But he was talking about the ticket price. Well, not necessarily directly ticket prices, but just how like they want to fill the building, but it's not always affordable, and you can go a lot of different ways with that. But I mean, it went crazy on Twitter, which pretty much all but affirms the fact that like we're not the only ones thinking about this. Like the players are thinking about it, and lots of people in the community are thinking the same thing. So
Yeah, and
it's just kind
like
of a
I didn't.
fun moment for us. And then I mean, hope I don't know. I mean, if it helps at all, it helps at all. But we'll see.
Well, it was cool. Biz didn't respond to me yet, but I mean, like you said on yesterday's episode of Chicklets, they kind of like touched on that like a little bit. So them guys even talking about it like even a little bit is great for like our community to. Because dude, I want to go to more games. I was just looking at ticket prices for Sunday's game, and I want to go, but it's like
Yeah,
holy fuck, you're like an arm and a leg to go to a game.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. And then here's the thing: is like because you see some people and they're like, oh, like tickets aren't bad, like it's like more expensive seats are like $100 and stuff. It's like, well, when you think about the landscape of like 41 games, like if you want to go to just like one game, sure, you can spend that money, but like even that's kind of expensive for one game. But like the average fan maybe wants to go to 3 or 4 games in a season. You're not going to pay $100. You're not going to pay 200, $300 before you even walk in the door 4 times a year. That's $1,000, not in addition to all the food, concessions, parking that you're getting. So like I don't know. Like if I just think that the Sabres got to do a little bit of adjustment there. We don't got to go too much on the soapbox here. I just thought it was kind of cool that tweet went a little viral, and it was just kind of like I said, a cool moment for our little Sabres podcast.
I know we were like texting back and forth, like holy shit, dude, it's got so many like that. That was so cool. I
Yeah,
enjoyed interacting with the fans too. That was fun, or like the people replying. That
yeah,
was it got me excited for what's to come in the future.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, hockey is like, I mean, this town is definitely, as much as we love our Bills, this is definitely a hockey town, and like, there's a passion here, and it's one of those things where like you think nationally, like people think like, oh, like the Sabres don't have support, but like they do. They've just been gone for so long, and like now maybe they obviously have to get back to their winning ways, which they're on the right way. But maybe they have to make some adjustments financially too until that happens. So we'll see what happens. But it'll be cool. Like I said, it was a cool thing for us.
You ready to talk about the game and the team? It's been 20 minutes and we haven't talked about anything hockey related besides tickets.
I'm ready. I'm ready. We got a cool show today. So as the title is showing, this is going to be our in our feelings show. And dude, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited for this. I think this could become like a staple show for us year in, year out.
Okay.
And our thought with this, right, was like, all right, we're essentially a quarter way into the season here, so we're starting to, we're starting to get in our feelings about some things. Like there, we can start making some predictions about stuff. So we have. You want to go through the game reviews first. So we're gonna we're just real quick. We're gonna touch on the games, and then we're gonna
Man,
get into some talking points.
you are so excited talking about our feelings that you want to just jump segments. I love it.
Dude, I cannot wait. But yeah, I am excited for this show because even when we thought of this like show concept, like before we even started the podcast, when we were just planning things out, I was like, this is gonna be one of the ones. Like there's always those shows where you think you're gonna like them more, and like it was like for me it was like the over under at the one we did in the beginning, which I want to reflect on sometime soon, kind of see how we're doing because I think some of those are looking pretty horrible right now. But
Yeah, they are.
this is another one. This is another one. So yeah, I'm definitely ready to get into it. But you want to start with a quick review of the games here
Yeah,
that we had?
yeah. Let's talk about the first game. So like the we had a on Friday last Friday we had a 3-2 win at home against Pittsburgh, and man, so I was out during this game, but we were watching it at a bar, so we kind of caught it. And my God, those first two periods were just a slog, just so horrible. And then I don't know what happened in the third period, but man, we just kind of caught fire, and we had goals from Skinner, Oposo, and Tuck. And I don't know. They looked like last year's Sabres again. They took the play to Pittsburgh and scored some great goals, and finally like had a nice win, like a nice comeback win.
Yeah, that was a huge game because they were down 2-0 after those first periods, and like you said, it was looking pretty bleak. They got booed off the ice at the end of the second intermission or second period, and so they were. I mean, you had to think they were definitely in their feelings a little bit, sitting in that
Oh
locker room.
yeah. Well, I think it came out afterwards that Kyle Oposo kind of came up and gave like a speech, and I think so. It was after, so it was the same game that Tuck had his interview on TNT, and he
Yep.
was saying how like yeah he wanted to just like run through a brick wall, and man, you just fucking love to hear that stuff. That like they do have some leadership on this team, and they came out playing the way they needed to play and secured the victory.
Yeah, and it that was one of the I think we've only won like 3 games this year, like after going down at the first goal. So and this was a
Yep.
2-0 comeback. So to do it all in one period is nice, and to do it at home and I mean Key Bank was pretty damn loud in that third period. So it was great for the boys, and I guess it made it all the more frustrating that they fouled that up with a 7-2 loss against the Devils. I mean, this was just terrible. And here's the thing: you know what frustrated me the most about this game is that there's all the talk, like the excuses start right afterwards. Like even Donnie said, like he was like, "Oh, well, we ran into a desperate team tonight," and it's like, so what? So that's your excuse for not showing up? You ran to a desperate team. I mean, hey guys, if you haven't noticed, like you're in kind of a desperate scenario too right now. Like you got to get these points. So I'm like, that doesn't mean you just get pumped 7-2 and you can use that as an excuse. I don't know. I was pissed off about this game.
Yeah. See, the reflect. I was pissed off in the moment too because I literally shut it off. Like I don't shut games off. Rarely. Like one or two times a year, I'm gonna turn a game off because I'm like I'll just find something else to do. But this one, man, part of me feels like Donnie kind of has a point because the Devils were horrible. Like they were like 1-6 coming into this game. Nico Hischier was playing in his first game since he got injured, like since Connor Clifton like knocked him out of the game. So I'm sure they were like, we gotta fucking stick it to this team, like this guy that knocked out my captain. And Jack Hughes, the game before, was like basically like we're playing like dog shit. So I'm sure, like we all know, Lindy Ruff was probably just crushing them in the locker room. Like, if you don't fucking come out and play against my old team, that like there's going to be consequences. And boy, did they ever! And I mean, we're going to talk about Devin Levi a little bit later,
Mm-hmm.
but oh man, this was not a good first period for Devin Levi at all. But yeah, they got pumped the whole. I mean, the not first period, but like when he came in relief for Comrie because Comrie started that game.
Yep.
So the first like couple minutes we're here, like, and then Levi comes in and he also gets pumped, and it's like, oh my god, we're like nothing is going correctly for this one, and they were terrible. Like their defensive coverage was horrible. They were not hard on pucks. Like it was
Nope.
just like, did you guys drink before the game? Like it was awful.
Yeah, that game was terrible. But like, here's my thing with that. It's like if you're gonna sit there after the game and you're gonna say you're going to use it as an excuse or a reason why you lost that the Devils were desperate, then you knew that. Like you knew they were going to
Yep.
be desperate. So like why
Oh,
weren't you
I
up to
agree.
that? And I know you played the game before, it was a back-to-back, but like this isn't game 81. This is game 20. This is game
20. It
21.
was 21.
Yeah, so it's like, you're still fresh. You're the youngest you're the youngest team in the league for a reason. Like if you're like I know back-to-backs are tough, you're professional hockey players, but like you should be able to get legs for that, especially in a game you win. And if you knew they were going to be desperate, then like be ready for that. Be ready for that onslaught. They were not ready to match it at all.
Oh, I know. It was super frustrating, and like I said, I shut it off after like the first period, so I can't really comment on anything that actually happened in the game.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing too good about that one. I think did Olsen score twice, right? He got two useless
Oh wait,
goals.
did he? Did he?
I think he did.
I think oh my, no, I don't. Maybe he did. I don't fucking know.
I'm gonna go
Like,
check the box score real quick if
I'm
you want
not
to
gonna
get.
lie. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Victor Olofsson has been playing really fucking well.
He has been playing better for sure,
I think he had 2 assists,
dude. I'm
but
telling you,
I
I
could, I
think
could, I could be wrong.
I
But dude, like,
I think he scored both goals. Let me see.
but when you find it, we're moving on to the Rangers game. But man, it really is just unfortunate that we put up these stinkers, and then like I feel like also this team is kind of wearing the responsibility or like the weight of the
No, he
playoff
didn't.
drought.
It was goals from a post and Skinner.
Oh, okay, okay. So I feel like I was saying, I feel like he is the team is wearing like the badge of dishonor, I guess you can call it, of like the playoff drought, because anytime they fuck up or anytime like they get no leeway. Like they have no leeway right now. Because anytime they get pumped by a team or they don't play well, it's like the sky is falling because it's like you kind of have to make the playoffs. Like you kind of have to, just
Right.
for the fact it's been so goddamn long. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't even care if we made the playoffs and got 4-0 in the playoffs. I wouldn't care. Just put us there. So when
yeah.
games like this happen, it really gets chopped up like crazy on online especially.
Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, that was the expectation they set for themselves. I mean, like it's not
Yeah.
like this is a surprise to them. Like the expectation coming in, like they were not. Let's put it this way: they were not strangers to saying that this is a year they have expectations and that the goal is to make playoffs. Where like last year they were never going to admit that, and last year I think most fans were fine with that. Like they saw growth we wanted to. It was a fun year, but like this year is like the first year in a long time where there is that expectations, right? Since Jack was here, and then like, and then so like to have these like these dud games where you're just questioning the effort. Like how many games last season did you question effort? Like, or did you see shit effort? Like it was almost non-existent.
Well, dude. Okay, so I got some stats here for you about our starts because our starts. Well, we could talk starts. Let's save for later. Let's save the starts for later. But I agree. I agree with you because it's sad to watch, man. And then it all makes it all the more frustrating. Frustrating, I think, is like the key word for the season. But we can roll into the Rangers game and intro that one because man, they come out with against the Devils like that, and then they come out against the Rangers and how they do against the Rangers, Matt.
Dude, 5-1. And this was like the game where dude, I fucking knew it because I'm like I remember driving home because this was my late night. This was Monday, right? So I'm
Oh yeah.
driving home and I'm like they're gonna win this game because I'm like this is a Sabres thing to do. I'm like they'll beat the team that's like only lost like 4 games all year. But the effort was there. I mean, it was a 60-minute game they played. So like that what do you expect?
So I found a tweet. I was just looking at people on YouTube are looking at me like I'm like, what am I looking at? I'm looking at my phone because I'm finding a tweet. So Dan Rosen, he is a writer for NHL.com and he's based out of New York City. So he had a tweet during this game and he said, the Sabres lost 7-2 to the Devils on Saturday and looked every bit as bad as 7-2 loss would indicate. They lead 2-0 after two periods against the New York Rangers, who have the best points percentage in the NHL, and have looked every bit as good as a 2-0 lead would indicate. Same team. How? And that is the question that we are all left with every single game, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And I think what's been frustrating at this point is the fact that they haven't strung any wins together. Like it's win loss. So it's like just when you think they have this good performance, then it's followed up by that disappointing loss. And then it's win and you're on a high and then they bring you back down. Like there's just been no consistency there this year.
Yeah, it's like if we win a game, it's like holy shit, we really shouldn't have won that game, or like we do win a game like against the Rangers where we dominate and man, I think every single guy on the ice against the Rangers was phenomenal. And
Yeah, there
it,
really
it
wasn't
reminded
anybody who
me
looked shitty.
it reminded me of a game from last year. Like we got so much quality and look at how much of an inverse it was compared to the game that we went to the opener against the Rangers where like we did not generate anything.
Yeah.
And this game we were just generating a shitload. Like after the first period, it no joke could have been 4-0 for
Yeah.
in favor of the Sabres.
Yeah, they played really good, and we lost 5-1 in that opening game to them, and then we beat them 5-1. So kind of a funny turnaround there against the
Yeah,
Rangers.
I gotta give props to uh Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, man.
Ukapeka
Holy
who?
shit. What did you call him? What was your nickname?
All right, so if you're listening to this, this is a Saber Spotlight trademark. This is an official nickname, and from now on, we will only refer to him on this show as his new nickname,
And I
which is
forgot what it was.
now, Ukapeka Lukanen has evolved into Ukapeka Lakamin because just lock him in every night. The boy is on lockdown.
That's so fucking great. And like, what did I text you? I think I said Ukko-Pekka Levi to Rochester.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, dude, he's been unbelievable. I mean, in this game too, he was fantastic, and it was
Mhm.
really nice to see him outduel the best goaltender in the league, and Igor Shesterkin, who he played pretty fucking well too. But
Yeah,
our
you see
guy
how
was
pissed he was
phenomenal.
afterwards when they were leaving the
Yeah.
ice. He like slammed
Well,
his stick
dude,
against.
dude, oh, the worst thing ever as a like even like me playing shitty beer league, the worst thing fucking ever is when you pull the goalie and you get scored on and then you allow another goal after that. Like the goal after the empty net goal is the one that pisses you off so much. And he just like he rage quit. He was gone. Smashing his stick and shit. He was gone. And
Yeah, because
I
that was
don't
like,
have to
wasn't that
think.
a posto score with like 2 seconds left or something?
Yeah, yeah, like just salting the wound there.
Oh, which by the way, I went back and looked, and Olafson's 2 goals were in that shitty Boston game.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah, where we got pumped.
Yeah, so that's where I was getting confused. I had
But
the wrong 2 goal game.
no, there's no Victor Olofsson slander on this episode because he's been playing really well.
Yeah, no, I mean he's been good, and he had games last year where he did good too. I mean, I don't know.
This
He's
year, I just feel like it's different with him. I feel like he's trying like to win pucks more, and he is coming out with the puck more often than not. And I never thought I would say that about Victor Olofsson.
Yeah, against the Rangers was like the first game like in a long time where I was like, this guy is like actually helping in like more ways than one. Like he's actually playing like some defense. He had a couple nice like entries into the zone, some good like puck possession and passes. Like he kind of he played an all around good game, and you don't see that a lot from him. You know, it's just kind of like the I'm going to stand here and try and like rip home a shot from the slot or something. But like it's he was really good against the Rangers. I'll give him credit there for sure.
Dude, you know who else was a stud? I feel like now we're just gonna shout out everyone that was a fucking stud in this game because it's fun. Zach fucking Carney Benson.
The Carney boy.
Absolute absolute monster. The guy is like what, 5'7", like 140, and he is just like, Jacob Trouba, the fucking one of the toughest, meanest defensemen in the league. He's going in the corner with him, battling for pucks, coming out
Yeah,
with pucks. He is just a his dog levels are crazy for a child. He's a
yeah,
child out there, but he's playing like a man, and you got to give him props, dude. Like he is one of my favorite players to watch that we've ever had. Like in the well, not ever, but like that we've had recently. Just because like you know what you're gonna get. He's gonna like try his nuts off on every single shift, and it's in. I honestly think right now that he's taking guys off guard because they don't know who the fuck Zach. I mean, they kind of know who Zach Benson is because they're doing like a little pre-scout, like talking about the team. They don't know, and then they go on the ice, and here's this little fuck coming out of the corner with the puck every time. It's amazing to watch.
yeah. He had a against the Rangers. I know he had a. It was almost it was this very similar play to like the assist on Darlene where like he had the puck in the zone. He just like kind of stalled it and held it along the boards for a little
I know what
while
you're gonna
until
say.
Darlene came in, and he did that. He had a nice pass, almost a nice assist to Olafson coming in. I think it was
No,
Olafson.
it was Paterka.
Oh, it was Paterka. Yeah, it was Paterka. So yeah, he was like same kind of play. He was along the boards. And it was either like a backhand or forehand, but he just kind of holds it for a second and slides it. I think it was through the defender's legs, and it was just like it was such a nice pass. I'm like his hockey IQ is just crazy off the charts right now. And like you said, he does use his body good. Like for it's so funny because I feel like him like you're like you're like old time fans, right? That are like, oh, I want the Sabres to hit more and stuff. Like they'll see a play where he like gets knocked off a puck and be like, this kid's too little, like he can't do it. But like
Yeah,
for every one play that happens to him, because it does happen, he's got like 3 or 4 plays where like he bodies up good and like actually retains the puck. Like there's a lot more pros than cons right now. He's playing great and he deserves a spot, 100%.
yeah. How about that? How about that fucking career-ending cross-check you laid on Jacob Trouba to get a penalty in the
Oh my
What a
god,
joke!
ridiculous.
What a joke that was. He like tapped him with his purse and got a penalty. Like, come on, man. The
That
NHL
was
is so
brutal.
dumb.
That was brutal. I don't know what was worth
His
that or the intentional grounding call against Josh.
I just Buffalo sports and penalties, man. You can't really or like the horse collar that wasn't called on Sunday.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
brutal. That was brutal though, and the cross check too was brutal. I'm like this. He was already falling down. He barely touched him. That
he
was
didn't
ridiculous.
he didn't even move the guy. Didn't even move him. Just like gave him a little love tap and it was a penalty. And it's like the refs did call a penalty on us like right before that and we didn't score on the power play. So then I feel like oh we got to make it up and that's what they gave. But dude, his ice time is very interesting. Like he is on the ice late in games constantly. He's on the ice in overtime. He
Yeah,
clearly has the trust of the coaching staff and that is it just blows me away that he's 18 years old.
I'm waiting for the day where he just fucking hits someone so hard, like you won't expect it coming, and he just lays into somebody and just completely
Because he
dummies
does,
them.
dude. He does use his body. So like he just wait till he like oh my god, I feel like he's not gonna grow into his man body until he's like 23, 24. but for now, he's doing what he can.
Yeah, he does what he can. I'm just looking at his ice time for like the last few games. So like he's been like averaging like pretty much like 15 minutes the last few games. So and that's I
Yeah,
mean
I mean that's
for a rookie
great.
that's not bad. But he's playing in all scenarios. Like he's getting some power play time. He like you said he was out there in the overtime too. Like he's got the trust of Don for sure. All right, so we
All
want
right,
to go
well,
into
I'm
our.
ready.
We ready for this next segment here?
Yeah, I'm ready for it because you were super pumped. I'm super pumped.
All right, so like I said, it is. So this is the In Our Feelings episode. So this is the official In Our Feelings segment. So how this is going to work? So you have three emotions. I pick three emotions. These all pertain to how we feel about a certain topic surrounding the Sabres. It can we said it can really be anything. It could be player specific. It could be schedule, whatever. So I have three, you have three. We don't know what the other person says, so we don't know if there's duplicates or not. And so we just figured it'd be more fun to kind of talk about things on the spot. But Ryan, you know what? I'm gonna let you go first. And I see here on the show doc that you're feeling relieved about something. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you're feeling relieved about?
I am feeling relieved that the Sabres are finally doing right by Devin Levi by sending him to Rochester.
Yes,
Earlier
nice.
this year, early this year, even during our intro episode or like anything that happened after that, we were like so excited for Devin Levi. And I think we always gave the caveat that like there's a possibility that this guy does not transcend all goalie development. And the Sabres need to do right by him by sending him to Rochester and like start his development over again, kind of. Just like let him go play in a proper league where he's ready. And I'm just so relieved and happy that Kevin Adams sent him there. And if you listen today, I know you had a busy day at work, but he had an interview today with Rochester Media, and he was pretty much saying how excited he is and ready to grab the bull by the horns, basically. And Seth Abbott said that he's going to play, and he's going to play a lot.
Yeah,
So I'm just relieved, and I'm also relieved because, dude, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is our goalie one, and for the first time, I feel confident about him. He's 24 years old. He's had a long development path. He was OHL goalie of the year in his 1 year in the OHL. He's got a World Junior Gold. Like he has had the proper development path for a goalie, and there's been some ups and downs. But this year, there's been far more ups. And man, how exciting is that?
yeah. He's been playing really, really good. I'll start with Levi here and like my thoughts on him, and then I'll get to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But as far as so Levi, I think it's the right move. Do you want to take a guess at what his save percentage is this year?
Like 860.
876, 876 with the
Okay.
3.7 goals against. I think a lot of people were posting like after the Pittsburgh game where he no, not the Pittsburgh, after the Jersey game where he came in for Comrie, like that one save that was just so soft where it kind of like went under. I think it kind of went under like his armpit, and it was just like it was not a hard save at all. And then it's just like people are like, these are not the goals you should be letting in. Like something's going on with him, and you can just tell. I mean, he hasn't played that great. We've talked about the rebounds being an issue, and I think Rochester's going to be a good place for him. Like I said, it's natural for goalies to do this, and he might spend a year or two there. And with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen playing so much better, like it's a luxury we have to be able to send him there, and he can be the guy there and just get a ton of run. And if you live in Rochester, you're like an Amerks fan. Like, how pumped are you right now that like Devin Levi is there? Like, you get to go and watch this kid play like every night.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And like, dude, I'm on Money Puck right now. So right now, Devin Levi, his goal save above expected is 56th in the NHL at a one minus 1.9. So he's not, dude, he was playing terrible.
Yeah.
So it's exciting for him to and to go down there and get the proper reps. I mean, like I said, he's gonna play a ton and we'll see what happens. And honestly, I'm in no rush to bring him back. Like I let him play, even if he's there the rest of the year. Let him get playoff experience in Rochester because that team is really fucking good. That's a really, really, really good AHL team,
Yep.
and they're gonna go deep in the playoffs again.
So we're going to talk about Rochester a little bit more, like with our little recap at the end. But like Rochester, so Rochester is currently tied for second in the North Division, and they are scoring like crazy, but they're also getting scored on a ton. Like they're tied for second, and they have a -7 goal differential. Like they've given up the most goals, I think the second most goals in the North Division. So like they're a team that needs some more goaltending, and like I said, they're not like super strong defensively either. So that means he's going to be faced with a lot of these like high danger chances there, things that he can practice and work on. But he'll definitely give Rochester a boost, and he's going to keep getting work on those types of scenarios that we need him to be better on when he gets called up for Buffalo too. So it's an interesting thing though. I was looking at that, and I was like, for where the Amherst are, they're actually not great defensively, and they're a -7, but they've just been scoring at will right now.
Yeah, I mean that it helps when you have Kulik and Rosen just scoring like crazy. But I will say that like he's gonna have in the AHL, in the NHL it's different. Like in the NHL you don't want three goalies, but in the AHL it kind of like doesn't really matter. And I mean Dustin Tokarski has played NHL games. Logan Cooley has not. So the priority is going to be Devin Levi, and he's going to get guidance from these two guys, and that is going to be fantastic for his mentals. Even though I'm not worried about his mentals at all, he's such a strong kid, like up here, like in his brain. So I'm very excited for him.
Something that's maybe not talked about as much either. I like Seth Appert a lot, and like I think Seth Appert is a great coach to have down in Rochester. I like any video I see of him, like interviews and stuff. So I think he could be good um, for the Jedi as well, or should I say the Beast?
The beast.
Here's
Yeah.
I guess
What about how many?
I got one more thing here before we move on. So I'm pretty
Okay.
sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think UPL is a restricted free agent after this year.
Oh, he
I'm
is. I had no idea.
Yeah, like I'm on Cap Friendly right now, and it's showing me. So he's got a cap hit this year, 23-24 of 837,000, but then 24-25 he's listed as an RFA. So like it'll be
Oh
interesting
wow,
to.
he's gonna need to do a deal.
That's what I'm saying. So it'll be interesting to see like if he comes out and has like, I mean, if he plays really good this year, I mean, one good year isn't going to command maybe like a huge contract, but like that's something the Sabres are gonna have to look into and figure out what they want to do long term
Yeah,
with
I
him.
mean, I would obviously wouldn't go long term with him, but if they want to give him like another 2 or 3 year extension, if he's
Yeah,
playing like
something.
this, you're kind of forced to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Connor's
That's
making
interesting. That's very
1.8 right
interesting.
now. So like I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean you would think if UPL has a good year, it'd be somewhere around there, maybe a little higher than that. So
Right. Huh,
we'll
that's
see.
pretty interesting. Okay. Damn. I had no idea he was RFA.
Yeah, just a little nugget for you there.
Well, all right, bud. Let's move on to your first emotion.
All right, so there's a pattern with my emotions. I think it's funny because we were talking before the show. Like, you can see how we're feeling overall about the Sabres with like the emotions that we picked, and I feel like all three of mine are like kind of more on the pessimistic side. But
Yep.
my first emotion here, or my first feeling, I should say, is hesitant. I'm feeling hesitant, Ryan. You want to know what I'm feeling hesitant about?
What's that?
I'm feeling hesitant about this power play because the power play it's been coming to life somewhat. I got some numbers here for you. So the last 5 games, power plays 5 for 14, which is 36%. So that's pretty good. We're one for three against Chicago, 1 for 3 against the Caps, 1 for 4 against Pittsburgh, 2 for 2 against Jersey. Kind of a weird thing there, given how shitty the game was, and then 0 for 2 against the Rangers. So 5 for 14 in the last 5 games. That's 36%. So heating up as of late, we're still sitting at 16%, which is below the league average at 20%. So we're, bottom third as far as the PK goes. And I think overall we are around like 24, 25. But I don't know, man. I'm interested to see what you think because like I don't feel like these power play goals we've scored. I mean, I know we've had a couple kind of like traditional power play goals, but I don't know if it's just better shooting luck or like a better play here and there because I'm not seeing like fundamentally like anything that's changed with the power play. So I'm hesitant to say that the power play is back, but I am hopeful that we're heading in the right direction, I guess.
Well, I got like a couple things. I'm right there with you, honestly. I really am. I mean, there's no Tage. We're not getting Tage back anytime soon, and there's no Quinn. So that's those two guys being out aren't really like helping our power play, obviously, because they're not playing, but they are kind of moving the puck like a little bit better. I know Jeff Skinner scored a goal in the slot against Pittsburgh, and the other goal that was scored that I was makes me also feel hesitant is one of those goals was a 5-on-3,
Yep.
and
Yeah, with only
Carl
like
Sutton
2 seconds
finally
left.
scored.
Like they almost went that whole 5-on-3
Yeah,
without scoring.
and they had like a minute 40 in that 5-on-3 too, and they didn't, and they almost didn't score.
Yeah, it was a
But
long one.
I'm right there with you. I don't. Maybe when Tage comes back, they start to heat up again. But I feel like when Tage comes back, they're gonna revert right back to giving the puck to Tage constantly. And I don't know how much that was working is if he's not going to shoot above expected on the power play. So I'm right there with you. I'm a little hesitant too, and I'm hoping that we're wrong.
I mean, I obviously hate having Tage gone, but if Tage being gone is going, I mean, that's a crutch that they don't have. So if that's going to force them to try and move and figure some things out on the power play, like that's a good thing. Then Tage comes back in, insert him in. You've found some of these principles that are working for you, and then you just add a guy like Tage with that weapon of a shot that he has in there. That can be very helpful. But again, I'm hesitant to say that it's all the way back, but I feel good that it's trending in the right direction. I mean, at least we're scoring on it,
Yeah,
so I don't want to complain too much about
I,
that.
I I've liked that they've more had Middlestat on the left side and as opposed to the right because you're Darlene. Let's say Darlene is catching the puck and he's looking towards Middlestat to the left. What's happening then is what I've noticed a lot is you've got Tuck on the back door, you've got Skinner on his good side, ready for like a one timer from the slot, and then you've got Middlestat like crashing down on his strong side, like ready for a pass. So if nothing is there, he just reverses it and comes back to Darlene, and then they like do their thing. So they're doing more than just like up top, passing in like a little umbrella and doing a one timer from an Olsen one timer that's not going to go in. So they're
Yeah,
looking for more. So like you said, if Tage comes back and they stop doing just get the puck to Tage every single time, then I'll be more optimistic. But if he comes back in like 2 or 3 weeks and they go back to just feeding him one timers, then there's no hope for this power play.
yeah, yeah. I think fundamentally I don't know. It's looked like you said a little better. Maybe some changes. We'll see what happens as it starts to take shape. This is an important time for them to get that going, especially with Tage out. You got to score on the opportunities that you have if we're going to have a harder time producing some offense while he's on the IR there. But we'll get into the next one here. So I see you're frustrated, Ryan. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
I'm frustrated about these slow starts. My God, man. Some of these games, we just look like we shouldn't have even like put the boots on it and went to work because it's awful. And I question whether it's Joe Yerdon made a good point about this on Twitter. He said that it's more like youth. We're the youngest team in the league, so we're gonna have games like this. But I think it's unacceptable the volume of games that are like this, which begs me to question the coaching. And I'm not saying that Don Granado is out there saying don't try, but I have some alarming like 10 bell. What do they say when there's like a 5 alarm fire? Uh, like emergency here, and it's kind of ridiculous. So we've had 5 games out of 22 where we've given up a goal or more in the first 5 minutes of the game. 3 times we've given up a
Mm,
goal in the first 90 seconds.
mm.
We've During that time frame, we're at a 35% expected goals at even strength. We are getting fucking pumped when like sometimes in the beginning of the game, and that is purely unacceptable. And I'm very frustrated by it because you can see when they finally flip the switch and start playing that they're playing pretty good. It's just that you can't be in a 2 or 3 goal hole in the first period and expect to win games.
No, the slow starts are frustrating. Like you said, they've had games where they've gone down early, and the tough part about that is, especially if it's a couple game or if it's a couple goals, the other team can change their strategy and they can play you completely
Yep.
different and they can take away if they know you want to play this way. Well, like we can be because we already have a cushion. Not that you're sitting on it, but like that team can afford to play you defensively more the way that they want you to because they've already built up that lead and they know that. So there's more of a pressure for you to push and to try and score, and maybe you're more susceptible to breakdowns because of that, because you're trying to press and you're trying to break their defensive schemes that are more designed to stop you in what you want to go to now. And the game, because the game's not as open as it was when it maybe first started, which is frustrating.
Yeah. Did it happen versus Winnipeg, or did they get their second goal like later on? Do you remember?
Against the Jets,
Yeah. I
I
don't
can
remember
look.
how
I
many
can look it up. I
goals.
can look it up real quick. I
Okay.
want to
Because
say,
I feel like in a situation like that, the only reason I bring that up is because they faced Connor Hellebuck that game. And if
yeah,
you go down 2-0 to Connor Hellebuck, like good fucking luck. Like you're
yeah,
not winning that game, and they didn't
yep,
win that game.
yep.
So it's like the if you're putting yourself in a hole against these teams with legitimate NHL goaltending, it's extremely difficult to shoot your way out of that.
Yeah, no, the Jets against Winnipeg, they didn't score. I mean, they scored 2 goals early in the second period. So,
Okay, so it wasn't until the second period. Oh yeah, the first period was pretty good. I remember the first period being pretty good, but they just didn't
but
score.
look at like Boston
And
for example. Like you go down to Boston 2-0 early, and I mean, good
yeah, it's
luck
over. Game's
against
over.
whoever. I think we played Swayman that night, and like Swayman, I think has a better save percentage right now than Allmark. So it's like against those elite goalies, like and a team that's defensively good like Boston, there's no way you're already at like a 10% chance of winning, if not lower.
And I know like they got absolutely just shit on against New Jersey, but they went 2-0 down in the first like what minute and a half maybe. So it was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you turn the game on and the game's over. And it's like Jesus Christ, guys, like you can't be playing like that. Like you don't have the luxury to go down 2-0 and shoot your way out of this trouble. Like you got to jump on them early. Like you got to play your game from the first puck drop.
Yeah, I mean their record when they haven't scored first is like I said, they've got like 3 wins out of those like 12 games. So like scoring first in the NHL is very important, and it's not something they've done a whole lot of lately. I'm just looking to see some of the other games we've played recently if we've had some slower starts there. But yeah, I mean Boston and Jersey are the two like early on here. But yeah, there's so many slow starts where they just come out, and you do wonder about the coaching with Don. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just it's easy to blame coaching, but at the same time, it's like listen, like if it's like we talked about with that start against the Devils, like you knew they were going to come out. Like you have to you have to be able to get your guys ready to play, and you have to be able to know when they're maybe stressed a little bit more mentally or hurting physically, and just pull the right string, pull the right lever for that one guy, and it's just or those couple guys each night. And I don't know, the inconsistency that we've had with the effort and things just makes me wonder if like how much that's actually happening in the locker room. But that's on our vets too. I mean, you sign these guys like Eric Johnson, you keep Gergensons and Oposo around, like those are things that they got to be doing too. So as much as Don has to realize that, the players do too, and they gotta help each other out. So
Yep, yeah, that's a great point about the veterans. Like you brought in Eric Johnson specifically for this purpose. Like Eric Johnson right now is a bad hockey player. He's pretty bad. And this is what he's here for. He's here to lead the players and like be that locker room guy and get them through and you know, raise the standard. And if he's not going to raise the standard on the ice, he has to raise the standard in the locker room. Like or
yeah,
else he's not providing any value. So you're very right in like in saying that like the veterans got to do their part here because we can't have these starts. They're unacceptable.
yeah. It's if anything, it's the young guys that are like Krebs getting in a fight here and there to get the guys going, or Cousins. You know what he did again. Although we said that was stupid, like at the end of the game, like trying to get guys like riled up. It's just like it's those young kids that have been stepping up. Now we're not in the locker room and things like that. This is just I guess we're just kind of spitballing here, but like these slow starts, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. You're not always going to score first in NHL. We obviously know that, but it happens way too frequently, and the effort is not there in these first periods, and it has to be. So
even if you get scored on once, you can't get scored on twice or three times.
Yeah.
I can accept one goal. I can accept going one goal down. That's no big deal. But when it starts snowballing with two and three, that's where I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, when you haven't made the playoffs in over a decade and you missed the playoffs last year by 1 point, like there's urgency every single night. So,
All right,
listen.
we got that. I'm glad I got that off my chest because it's been pissing me off, just like it pisses off everyone else. But Matt, why don't you tell me why you're feeling anxious?
No, you skipped one, dude.
I did? Okay.
Yeah,
Why don't you tell me why you're feeling underwhelmed?
I'm feeling underwhelmed because you're going fucking out of order here. Gotta wake your ass
That,
up here.
fuck. Fuck. I'm in timeout for a minute.
All right, so here I'm gonna quiz you. I'm gonna give you a chance to guess here. So, and the listeners too can play along at home. But all right, so I'm underwhelmed with two players specifically, and take a second. I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. I got some points I want to bring up about each one. But if
Well,
you had to
I
guess,
got one. I got one automatically comes to the top of my head. I got to think of the second one.
all right, yeah. So
Number
so who's
one.
your
Number
first one?
one. Dylan Cousins is number one for sure.
Yeah, that's number one.
And then number two, who are we frustrated with? Number two.
I'll give you a clue.
Is it
It's a
forward?
defenseman.
Is it Connor Clifton?
Nope.
Is it Power?
No, come on. You gotta know this. Matthias Samuelson.
Oh fuck! Oh my god,
I
dude,
am
we shit on Samuelson every day in text, and I can't believe
yes.
I didn't. I forgot he existed. I forgot he was here.
I am completely underwhelmed by the starts of these two players. And let me tell you why. So I got some numbers for you here. So Dylan Cousins, it's no surprise to anybody that he's been off to a slow start. We all know about the broken nose or whatever in the cage and stuff, but whatever. I mean, I'm sick right now. I'm still going to work and doing my job. So it is what it is. These guys are hockey players. They're supposed to be tough. Like, figure your shit out. So Dylan Cousins, 9 points in 20 games. So that's a zero.
It's
That's
unacceptable.
that's under half a point per game. He's a -4 this year. Plus minus, I know it's whatever. Like, but to put in perspective, just a little bit of perspective here. His breakout year last year, right in 2022, 68 points in 81 games. So he had 31 goals, 37 assists. That's 0.84 points per game. So not that far off from a point a game player. But it's not only the production on the ice; it's how it looks. It's just like dumb plays with the puck. It's just like you were saying last time, his shot from Jupiter in overtime, and just like which
Yeah,
Eric
he
thought was
cost us
hilarious.
that
By the
game.
way.
He cost us the game. I mean, even so, dude. Before we touch on Samuelson, even against the Rangers, he comes in. He's carrying the puck on the left side, right? And we have a 3-on-1. He's fucking dropping the puck back to Eric Johnson. Why? Dude, take the shot. You're
Yeah,
Dylan fucking Cousins. You scored 31 goals last year. Stop. Like, he has zero confidence, and it's extremely frustrating. Like, why are you dropping the puck back to Eric Johnson on a 3-on-1? And we were shorthanded. We were
yeah.
shorthanded, too, if I recall correctly. So, just the hockey IQ is just not there. And, I mean, I have faith that he can turn it around, but, like, he's playing like a dumb hockey player, and it's clearly not working out.
Yeah, so I'm underwhelmed because like the it not only is the production not there, but it also looks bad. Like he looks slower, and his time on ice is virtually the same as last year. I looked it up. Like he's playing the same amount of minutes he was last year, so the opportunity is still there. I know Quinn's out, and they had the kid line last year, and it was rolling. And I know that the lines have been changing somewhat, but dude,
Yeah,
you
I feel
are.
like
But
he's been relegated
so
to like babysitter kind of.
well, okay, sure, but like also like you're you're 2C. Like he's our second center. Like you are a play driver. Like you have to be you're also like that the more I think about that, I know we talked about like the line shuffling stuff, but like dude, you practice with these guys every day. Like you know these guys in and out. So like you should be able to play with people on the ice. And like at the end of the day, like I said, you're our second center. You're getting paid $7 million. You just got a big extension.
Oh, I know.
It's like you're supposed to be driving play, and it's the opposite. He's hurting our play. He's hurting our momentum, and it's frustrating to see right now.
Yeah, I feel like Dylan Cousins is at his best when he's carrying the puck in from our own zone to like through the neutral zone and attacking. And we just haven't really seen that this year, like really at all. And even when he does get the puck, like I said, he's making just stupid decisions with it. And I don't know if it's shooting luck, but when he's shooting, it's not really like shooting with conviction. And I know he finally scored on the 5-on-3, like good for him. But he really had to turn that into like get the ball rolling on more solid play. And I feel like he was kind of dog shit against the Rangers. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
come on, man. We need you. Like we're going nowhere without him like picking up his play.
Yeah, he's vital. He's vital to us. And all his goals this year are just like shots. The one thing he's not doing this year, like he's not creating offense. Like he's not and like I said, that's the his job, like as a centerman, is driving the play, driving the offense. And he's just not having these plays where he is making something happen and setting guys up. It's just stagnant. He looks slow. He looks I don't know what's going on, but it's not. It's obviously not the same player from last year, and it's gotta get better because he's a huge piece to what they're trying to do, and he's paid like it
Well,
now. So
it's especially with Tage out, you'd think that he would, seize the bull by the horns here and like, all right, I'm going to be the guy that steps up and like drives our team to victory, but he hasn't, and that part's been disappointing for me as well.
so you gotta. Oh, you already said the other guy. So the other guy I'm
Yeah,
underwhelmed with here
this
is
guy, bro, this guy's been
Matthias
pissing me
Samuelsson.
off.
And I feel like he's gotten such a pass this year. Like I think more so now I've started to see some of the speculative, eyes go towards Samuelson because he's had some rougher games. But I wasn't even to start the year, I wasn't thrilled with him. But like between him always getting injured, and I'm wondering if like what is going on with this man? Like, is he not conditioning the right way or something? Like, is he just seriously injured prone? And he doesn't miss a ton of time from these injuries, but it's like a game here or like up here. It's like if you
A
leave a
week,
game,
a week here, a week there. Yeah,
yeah, and if you like, how many times has he like missed like finishing a game? Like that's one less defenseman you have now for the rest of that night,
yep.
however long it is. So like that hurts the team if you go out. He just he looks lost at times. There's like since we recorded, there's like been two plays specifically where like I know he's very defensive minded, but there's been like plays where the puck is in the neutral zone and he's like the only one near it, not even like people on the other team, and like he's like skating back on defense already. And I'm like, dude, you could have got that puck and like pushed it up the ice. I'm like, he's just like it seems like he's just so scared of making mistakes that he doesn't. I know he's not offensive. He's not necessarily gonna drive offense, but he's not doing anything. He to me he just looks lost at times. And then the one last thing I'm gonna say before I get you to chime in, fuck the Philadelphia Eagles, and this man's an Eagles fan, and he said an Instagram
Oh
post
yeah,
out right after the game, like saying "Go Eagles, go," which you should not do if you're on the Sabres. I'm sorry, but like if you're on the Sabres, you should, and they just lost a devastating overtime game to the Eagles. You do not put that on your Instagram. Like,
dude, what
what
a
the fuck is wrong
savage!
with him?
What a fucking savage to post that on Instagram. What a savage. Like, I know he's like from the area and shit. So like obviously he's an Eagles fan, and I bet he was doing that because I bet the guys were like fucking giving him shit in the group chat. But man, that was I thought that you didn't like that. I thought it was really funny. But like
I mean, if he was like a good player and like I appreciate what he was doing, like yeah, sure, like I might think that's funny, like oh, or kind of like a badass thing to do. But like when you're sucking and you're playing like shit and you're hurt half the time, like no, I
yeah,
don't want to hear you bragging about your fucking 10-1 team.
you're getting no leeway from Matt Walsh about that at all. He's gonna just motherfuck you the whole time. But dude, the thing that's even bothering me more about his play is just like his inability to find rebounds has cost us on goals. I want to say like upwards of like 6 or 7 times. That's probably like way too high of a number, but I feel like a goalie is kicking a rebound out to like his feet or his side, and then he can't find it, and it's a goal against. And it's like, dude, you're supposed to be the defensive awareness guy. Like you're playing with Rasmus Dahlin. You're playing with the best player on his team and a top 10 defender on the planet. Like if you're getting this opportunity, you need to like
Mm-hmm.
do your job. And
Yep.
that's where I'm like I kind of think he should be relegated to the third pair. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe have Ryan Johnson play with Dahlin like permanently and have, Power Yoki Haru and then rotate between Samuelson, Clifton and Johnson. But
Yeah, I
Matthias
like that.
Samuelson is Matthias Samuelson is nowhere near a top pair defenseman right now, and he's kind of killing us. And you're talking about the offense, like there have been times where I'm like, oh, he can carry the puck in the neutral zone. Like he's got that big frame, but he just doesn't do it as often as I'd like to see him do it. And I really would like to see him just, get his head out of his ass. You've seen multiple times this year where like he'll give the puck away and it'll lead to like directly to a goal against, and he'll just like lift his head up and be like, oh, like again. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, if you're doing that, then you have no confidence.
He also like doesn't like hit ever. And like I know like hits are like not as big in the league, but like I never see him hit. And I feel like when I see him like actually try to hit, he just whiffs on it. Like it's just like he actually doesn't want to hit this guy, and it's just like I don't know. Again, I know hits aren't that bad. Here's another thing. I kind of feel like his shot isn't like terrible. Like I don't
He
know,
doesn't use it.
but he doesn't use it. Yeah, and I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best person at that because like I don't think I've ever looked at a single NHL player and said, "Oh, he's got a bad shot." Like to me, they just all look like they can shoot the puck good. But like to me, like Samuelson, like it looks like he has a decent shot, but like he doesn't use it. And I don't know. He looks just kind of lost out there at times. I don't know, man. I think like what is the what would you say? I don't know if you know this or if you just be guessing, but like what would you say is the average salary of a third line defenseman? Because he's making 4.2.
I mean, like 1 or 2 million. Like those kind of guys usually only get like 1 or 2 year deals for like cheap.
Okay, so he'd be an over if we had him on the third pair, like he'd be an overpaid third pair defenseman for sure. But like
100%. hundred
But
percent.
like if his value is better there, like then just do it. Like just take your loss. Just say, you know what, Samuelson, like you're better on the third pair, maybe playing against some inferior opponents, and that's where you're gonna succeed more. That's where the team's gonna succeed more. Like if Ryan Johnson, like because then you look at the other side of it, well, like Ryan Johnson right now, he's making peanuts and he's on your line one. So like you got a deal there, but you're paying this guy a little bit more on the third line. Like do whatever's best for the team. And I think they need to look at Samuelson and figure out what they want to do with him a little bit more because he's not cutting it right now.
Right. I agree completely, man.
All
But
right.
with all that
Well,
being said, I'm gonna move into my last emotion. And my
yeah,
last
get
emotion's
us
excitement.
excited about something here.
Listen, man, this is a big picture thing, but I'm still excited about the Buffalo Sabres. I feel like they've been so inconsistent, and they've shown us recently more often than not that they can play and that they are kind of getting back to their game a little bit more. I forgot what I told you their record was over their last five. I think we're what, 3-1-1
Three
over
one
our
and
last
one. Yeah.
five ish. And we're like what, like 6-3-1 or something in our last 10, like something like that, I think. And like, man, that's the record of a good hockey team. It hasn't looked that great at times, but we're missing Tage still. And if we can survive the month of December without Tage and be right there in the thick of it come January with him, I think that this team can make the playoffs still. I'm not out on the team. I'm frustrated, like I said, and it's more annoying than anything. But I'm still ready for the Buffalo Sabres to make the playoffs in April.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I'm there with you.
I know
But
you
there's
are. I'm surprised. I've
no.
heard
I
about
mean,
shit ton
okay.
of it.
In theory, I'm there with you. But I'm gonna tell you what because my last emotion is very similar. It's gonna rebut yours, so that's why I'm bringing it out now.
Okay,
My
I love
last
it. I
emotion,
love it.
you already spoiled the beans here, but or whatever, spilled the beans. But I'm anxious, and I'm anxious about the Sabres, and I'm anxious about the standing. So I'm again, I am excited, but here's where I'm going with this. And so this
Okay,
will tie together with what you're saying about the excitement because I don't think they're out of it. I definitely don't think they're out of it. But we're 10-10-2. We got 22 points through 22 games. Okay, so projecting that out for the season, we're on pace for 82 points. That's -9 from where the playoffs were last year. That's
yeah,
-9 from
that's not
last
gonna
year.
cut it. That's not gonna cut it.
That's not going to cut it. So we're going to have to. They're going to have to go on a run at some point. Here's some stats for you. The Buffalo Sabres right now, they're ahead of only 3 teams in the conference on points percentage. The Ottawa Senators, who are just a fucking mess right now, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Montreal. Those are the only 3 teams that they
Oh
are
my god.
currently ahead of for points percentage. Our goal differential is -7. That's better than only Montreal, the New York Islanders, and again, the Columbus Blue Jackets. So like the underlyings here are really not that great. And as excited as I am, and despite all of these, they've done a good job of kind of staying around. But it's one of those things where like, listen, the only reason they're still in it is because the majority of teams have been so average. But that is not that's going to average out. Those teams, all those teams are not going to be average for the entire season. Like there's going to be a bunch of teams that pick it up. There's going to be maybe some teams that fall off a little bit, but where are the Sabres? What are they going to do? Are they going to make that run or are they going to fall off? Because right now, I'm leaning more towards that other side, the falling off side. But it's hard to not be excited because they're still there. But are they just there because everyone else has been just meh?
So it's funny that you're saying this because I'm looking up right now. I know Money Puck is like not exactly the best resource. Their models are all over the place. But the Sabres currently are 22nd in expected goals, and they're ninth in goals above expected. So what that means is that they're generating the 22nd best opportunities, but they're scoring at the ninth best pace. So they're kind of shooting above what they're generating, but I don't really know how much of a factor the last couple games are. So it really is like more trending towards what you're saying that they're playing really bad. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We're two differing opinions here. But hey, that's why we have this pod and
You
what
know,
we're gonna discuss.
what I will say though, I think one thing that will help them a lot is Uka Pekka Lakaman just getting locked
Yeah,
in as the starter. That is one big
yeah.
thing because now Devin Levi's down in Rochester. You have a free roster spot, and we're going to talk about this. They already called up Byro. They're keeping Rosine. Cooley got sent back down. So we don't know what's going on with Greenway, but like it seems like now that they got this three goalie thing figured out, you got Ukko-Pekka Lakanen in net and just like give him the majority of starts, let him get on a roll with this team. And I think that can be one of the things that picks them up a little bit. Obviously, Quinn coming back is a big thing. Tage coming back is a big thing. Greenway coming back, we're not sure what's up with him. So they have had a lot of injuries to date. They have some guys coming back, but you have to make it till then. And you need some guys to step up now, whether it's Rosine who comes in and plays nice, whether Byro comes up and plays nice. He's been up here for a couple games already, but the goalie thing getting figured out is a big thing. But we'll see what the actual roster itself can do now.
I feel like that's really good for the locker room because now they're like, okay, finally we have these two guys, and that's got to be great. Like, how do you think UPL's feeling right now? Even Eric Comrie, Comrie's got
Yeah.
to be like, this is fucking great. Like, we showed them, like, they brought in Devin, and they were like, this is our guy. Like, even management talked about him like he was ready to go, and for them two guys to play better than him and send him down to Rochester. I know they're like on the same team and shit, but dude, there's competition there,
Yeah.
and they the locker room has to be like fucking rights, boys. Like fucking rights. Like great job. Like you guys are playing well, and now we got to pick it up for you. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right there with you. Like that's a great factor that like the locker room morale. Like it might turn around now because like they got the two goalies locked in again, and now they're gonna fight for them.
Yeah, and one thing I brought up to you like earlier this week, I'm interested to see what your thoughts are now. Is like I wonder if Levi here was was really really good for UPL as far as his like just like his mental makeup, right? Because that's been touted for Levi at such a young age that like he's got the mentals figured out, he's got the confidence and things, and he probably has these strategies that work for him. And what's been the thing with UPL? Okay, he's got all the he's got the size, he's got the skills, he's got you see all the pieces there, but he hasn't been able to put it together. And you wonder if it's been a little bit kind of between the ears with some of his confidence and things. And I'm just curious to think if you think that having Levi up here and just having his influence around him, although a younger, less experienced goalie, but having had a lot of confidence or having a lot of success down in the college game and just coming from a very intense hockey background where he's kind of had a lot of practice with some of the mental training. Like, do you think that was a big benefit to UPL?
Maybe not like I think maybe not like the mental training, but I feel like him just being here. And they waved UPL off to like just go away because I mean last year Levi came in and played all 7 games that he was here for. So it's like they didn't even put UPL on the bench. So I guarantee you this offseason he was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna prove them all wrong. I'm the guy. And shit, man, I feel like he worked this offseason. He went to work, and now we're paying the dividends, and that's fantastic for him. It's fantastic for his future, and he's right at that age. Like he's 24 years old. Like he's kind of right at that age where guys start picking up their game, and he just looks. Doesn't he just look different? Don't you think it just looks confident? He's
Yeah,
swallowing
absolutely.
pucks. Like yeah, he's gonna let in a goal here and there, and there's some shit goals that he's let in before, but he literally is like playing so much more confident than that. He's not doing that thing where he's getting real small anymore.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
he's being
refreshing
much
to
more
see.
aggressive. He's challenging shooters. He's coming out of the crease more. It's totally been a different goalie, and he didn't have a good preseason either. Like people want to get rid of him after the
No,
preseason
right.
too. It's literally when the regular season came. It's just like he flipped a switch and he's been great. He's been playing really solid.
Yeah. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him.
The team is showing that they have confidence in you and giving you that job. It does a lot for you too because anytime you let in a goal, you're not just constantly second guessing like, "Fuck, am I going to get the next starter? Am I going to be pulled?" Like they're telling him, "Ukko-Pekka Lakanen, you're the man, you're the guy, and here we go. We're locking you in."
It's so funny because I'm not gonna call him Ukko-Pekka Lukin anymore. He's gonna go by Lockerman, and then it's gonna change my autocorrect on my phone to that, and I'm gonna send that to other people, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I'm still just waiting for the first tweet that we get from like a listener that just says Ukko-Pekka Lakanen, and I'm going to be still fucking.
Oh, it's gonna be sick. I'm stepping over here for a second. I gotta get my charger, but we can continue to the next second. The next segment.
All right, sounds good. Well, the next segment here was really just any Sabres news that we wanted to talk about. We kind of talked about a lot of it there, but anything else that you want to kind of chat about here, Ryan? I know we've mentioned like the Greenway's been out for a little bit. We got Kulik who came up for a game and then got sent back down, and then Rosine's been up here for a couple games. But anything else as far as like Sabres news go that you want to kind of get into before we get into a couple things to wrap up?
No, this video must be fucking hilarious as I'm struggling with the fucking charger here because I got like the cord I'm trying to get. God damn, that was ridiculous. But the only thing I really want to talk about is like congrats to Kulik and Roseanne for playing their first games. I know like Kulik played like 4 minutes against the Devils and then he went straight back down. Like that's so unfortunate. But Roseanne's been sticking. I feel like they chose Roseanne over Kulik because he's a year older. And uh, I think I'm gonna have to check on this, but I think that Kulik has the same contract sliding mechanics that Zach Benson did. So if Kulik plays 9 games, his contract counts. But if he stays in Rochester and plays under 9 NHL games, then his contract slides. So I feel like that's kind of another reason why they chose Roseanne. And I also feel like Roseanne is more suited to a bottom six role, like
He's been a little better
minimal,
defensively, so
even strength, and like maybe they pop him on the power play here and there, like who knows. But I feel like his game just suits it better, and Cooley can go and just round out his game more in the AHL. But the other thing I really wanted to discuss is Jordan Greenway, dude. What's going on with this guy? Like Kevin Adams says that he was gone for personal reasons, and he comes back and he's going to play tomorrow. Like it's confirmed he's in the lineup tomorrow. But
that's good.
when Adams did media availability earlier, he was like, "We have to have a conversation." So like, I don't know if something happened or like he did something, but to come back and have to have a conversation with the general manager about like what's going on, like I'm a little concerned about that. Like I don't know, it could be anything really. I mean, he could have had a death in the family. His mind might not be in the right place. Like I don't know. And it's weird that he's back and he's going to be in the lineup tomorrow. So I really hope he's okay.
Yeah, whatever it is, you just like you said at the last point there, you just kind of hope that it's that he's good and he's got his mind right and things are okay. And again, it's hard to speculate, I guess, on what it is, but you just kind of want him to be feeling good and ready to get back out there. And I'm sure just getting out there with the boys will help with whatever's going on. So
Yeah,
um,
I wonder if they have him doing media availability after the game tomorrow. Like, if
yeah, maybe.
let's say he has a good game and like we win, he might be the guy to do media. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I like when seeing him talk because you don't see him talk a whole lot. And let's be honest, like we talked about the power play going up a little bit. The PK has been trending down a little bit. I mean, I looked this up earlier too. I mean, in the last 5 games, they're 10 for 13, which sounds good, but I mean that's a 77% clip. They were hanging up at 85%, 88%. Now that's with Greenway out and Tage out, so you got two of your big guys out. So you're seeing a little bit of dip in the penalty kill efficiency, but the Sabres definitely need him back. Greenway was playing some of their best hockey before he got out.
Right.
So hopefully he comes back. Before we get into the next segment here, dude, I just grabbed a Kool-Aid jammer from my fridge. You want to
What are you,
you want to
6?
you want to guess what flavor it is? I got
Fruit
grape.
punch.
I got
Fruit
grape.
punch.
Well, hang on. Let me tell you what I got. Because that is an option. I got grape. I got fruit punch, or I got tropical. Wait, hang on.
Oh, no, no, tropical storm, tropical
No, no,
storm.
no. It's not fruit punch. It's cherry. I got grape, not tropical storm, tropical punch, or cherry.
I'm just fucking making up flavors. I'm gonna say you grabbed a tropical punch.
Boom, grape.
What is that? Oh, grape. Okay, that's delicious, bro. Dude, I feel like
Oh,
a lot of people like. I feel a lot of people like flavors. I feel like grape is a good flavor for like anything, or like I pretty much like all fruit based flavors unless it's like pineapple. I don't know. I don't know. I just like like mango something like a mango smoothie. That shit goes down well.
I agree. I agree. As far as grape goes, I agree. Grape is like a good flavor for everything, but grapes, like the actual grape, grapes are kind of mid in my opinion. Like they're not.
What's Oh, really?
I don't love
Which
them.
one? If you had to pick, which one would you pick? The green or the purple?
Dude. I'd go straight for those cotton candy grapes. All those things
What
are
are
so
those?
fucking
What the
good.
fuck are those?
You never had the
I
cotton
never had
candy
those.
grapes?
No.
I think they're actually out now around Christmas time, or maybe
Yeah,
that's
I don't
just in
know.
the summer. Oh, dude, cotton candy grapes, but they're like fucking $8 a pound. So
Oh, yeah, well, inflation, we can't even afford going to a Sabres game. I'm not spending $8 on a fucking grapes.
you know what?
All right,
Honestly,
so,
dude, if
dude,
I just fucking went to KeyBank Arena and bought their food every night for dinner, it'd be way more. It'd be way cheaper than going to
dude.
Wegmans.
Okay, so we gotta talk about this real quick before we jump into talking about how much of a fucking loser Patrick Kane is. Um, I need to go to a game where they have a good hot dog because I want to buy the fucking theme hot dog so bad. Have you seen like their themed hot dogs?
We talked about this a couple shows ago. I know they're doing
Okay,
like a different
bro,
one each time, but
I feel like I want to go to the Nashville game because I know there's going to be some kind of like Nashville hot chicken taco or some shit.
oh
I
yeah,
want
that
to go.
sounds good.
I want to go. But dude, we are running late as fuck. We're already an hour and 20 in. Let's like move on a little bit. Holy
Well, dude,
shit.
we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end here.
It's so fun. I'm like, God damn, we are cooking tonight, bro.
Well, you want to hear? You can take around the league because you typed this shit in. So go ahead and we can do around the league here quick, and we'll do Amherst, and then
And
we'll
then,
see
yeah,
what
and then
we
you
look
run
at.
Amerks. I feel like you're like our Amerks correspondent. I love it. But dude, so we'll touch on some shit. So Patrick Kane didn't pick the Sabres. South Buffalo is not buzzing. Patrick Kane signs a 1-year, $2.75 million deal with the Red Wings. Coincidentally, his debut with the Detroit Red Wings might be against the Buffalo Sabres. On Did I just say Red Wings?
Yeah, I heard wet wings. The wet
Fuck,
wings.
the
They're
Red
fucking. They're
Wings.
getting married.
His Red Wings debut can be his Red Wings debut. I'm saying it again. I'm
The
not even
wet
trying to
wings they
remember.
woo.
Fuck! This is really bad. The Red Wings will debut Patrick Kane possibly against the Sabres next week, Tuesday. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be sweet. That would. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? He's gonna play like 30 seconds and then his hip is gonna explode. So I'm really not like whatever. I doubt he'll do a whole lot for them. I mean, I was I was skeptical in the beginning, and then our play was pissing me off, and I'm like, just fucking just do it, because it's exciting. And now I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad that we didn't do it. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's so easy. Like I said, I was kind of wanting him. I didn't want him, and then I wanted him, and then now that he's not here, I think it's easy to just say, "Oh well, fuck him anyways." I didn't want him.
Well, yeah. What else are we gonna do?
I guess I'm kind of disappointed because I think he could have been beneficial to the Sabres, just like as a veteran coming in and whatnot. It wouldn't have been like this crazy thing, I don't think. But I mean, we've talked about that the hip is one thing to be concerned with, and I don't know. I think I'm a little disappointed because I was leaning towards wanting him here. I also think he would have just attracted fans too. So like Key Bank probably would
Yeah,
have
I
been
know.
a little bit more filled. But whatever. I mean, it's not like it's a make or break thing. I mean, if anything, it probably just forces Adams like, hey, like you might actually have to actually make a big boy move
Yeah,
to get
your
this team over
rival.
the hump.
You're a team that is 3 points above you right now and is playing some really fucking good hockey. Can you check the score while I'm talking real quick? I think they're winning right now.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing too. That's got to charge people up. It's like, hey, like he could have came home and he literally went to a team that you're
Competing directly
competing
with.
with directly for a playoff spot because he felt they were better than you. Like he went there
Yeah,
because he thought like the scenarios aren't all that different. Like playing time is going to probably be somewhat similar, but he chose them because he's saying they're better than you, and I got a better shot at
yeah,
winning with them. So that's got to get you going. So
right.
like here's the thing: like does he get booed?
Yes, it'd be funny. I mean, he really didn't do anything. Like, no, I don't think so. Honestly, I mean, he gets cheered more often than he's booed when they come here, and I feel like I don't know. I think if I was in the locker room, if I was in the Sabres locker room, I would be like, well, fuck that. Like, he thinks they're better than us. Like, like again, they
Yeah.
kind of have to have this like us against the world mentality where it's like, well, fuck him then. We're gonna show them.
Oh yeah, I'm betting the Sabres hard on that. We play them on Tuesday night, by the way. I think
Yep.
you said Wednesday earlier. It's Tuesday,
I,
but
I, whatever I said. It is Tuesday though. You're right.
yeah. But so checking on that score, so the Red Wings they lost tonight 3-2 to the Rangers.
Oh, they did. Thank God, because they scored 2 goals in like 20 seconds earlier. So I was like, fuck. So good. That's good. That's good. But
Yep.
we'll move on to our next story. I'm gonna quickly gloss over this because I mean, there's no really point in speculating. But so Corey Perry signed with the Chicago Blackhawks in the offseason. They gave him a deal. Like, didn't they give him a multi-year deal? I didn't look it up, but I think they gave him a multi-year deal. Well, his contract just got terminated, and wow, the speculation online was kind of embarrassing, but I was absolutely taking part in it because it was freaking funny. But no, Corey Perry did not sleep with Connor Bedard's mom. As much as you want to meme it, I mean, the memes were incredible. It was a great day to be on Twitter, and although I do feel bad for the Bedard family that they had to like deal with it, what the fuck did Corey Perry do to get his contract terminated by the Blackhawks?
Dude, I don't know. They said something about it though. They didn't, right? Didn't they say it was
Such a
involving?
vague statement, like very vague. Like I feel like the Blackhawks of all organizations, after going through the sexual assault cover-up scandal that they went through, and participated in, and I feel like they're the team that kind of has to be the most transparent with things. But I also understand that like if Perry did something that's that awful, they can't really say anything because they could get like sued. My
Yeah,
opinion, I think he was I think he slept with someone he shouldn't, and it wasn't a teammate's mom. Maybe it was like someone that works for the Blackhawks, like who knows? But I don't think he did anything bad. I don't think like if it was a crime, if a crime was committed here, I think the team would say something about that. But since they kind of just said like I don't know, conduct like detrimental to the organization or whatever the phrasing they used, that made me think that he did something that wasn't a crime, but also probably shitting where he was eating, honestly.
I didn't know he won the Stanley Cup. He's the Stanley Cup champion.
Oh yeah, well he was on the fourth line that year. He was him and Getzlaff were like rookies when the fucking Ducks were like incredible. And he won a cup with the fucking Lightning, right? Recently? I don't even know. Was he on that team? He was everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, I'm assuming he did some. I mean, obviously he did something intense. It's kind of like funny, like reading the quotes and stuff because, like, I mean, so like the quote was like that he's going to be away from the team and would be for the foreseeable future. That kind of transitioned into like, hey, we just waived this guy, and the GM saying like, in the event that he clears waivers, we're going to terminate his contract
Yeah,
immediately.
like
You're like,
holy
what the hell
shit,
happened?
dude. You know what's even more funny is the big insiders were like, "There's at least 10 teams interested in Corey Perry." Like today saying that shit, I'm like, oh, could you imagine if we fucking brought the guy in? Like, what the hell?
Watch the mom, seriously, Jesus.
I know, goddamn. Look out for Zach Benson's mom. She's good lord. Uh, but another thing we just gotta touch on because it's funny to meme them right now because they're in such disarray and it's so funny. The Ottawa Senators fucking suck. Fuck that franchise. I hate them. They suck so bad. Between them and Detroit, I'm not sure who I hate more. Right now, it's Ottawa because it's just more fun to laugh at them. But they got shit kicked. I mean, shit kicked by the Florida Panthers. That game got outrageous at the end there. So many fights. Brady Kachuk and Matthew Kachuk were jawing at each other. There was clips. I gotta send you this after the show. So Matthew Kachuk was on the bench, like talking to the Ottawa bench, and he's like, Stutzla and Sanderson are fucking dead. They're fucking dead. And then the next game, Sanderson fights Kachuk, and I'm like, this is sick. This is amazing. 11 guys on both benches at the end of the game. Just Donnie Brooks, man. It was just incredible. Like after the whistle, there was punches thrown, just slashes. It was crazy. Old time hockey right there. But man, fuck the Ottawa Senators for life. They suck.
Yeah, dude. You know what's so crazy? So I didn't see that game, but that sounds like absolutely. That sounds crazy. It's weird that they've only played 17 games so far.
Yeah, their schedule's been weird.
Like I guess the NHL just doesn't want them to exist either. All right, so that pretty much wraps up around the league stuff real quick that we want to talk about. We did a lot of the Amherst stuff already. They've played 2 games since our last recording. They had a 3-2 win over the Rocket. Overtime goal from Rosine in that game, which was sick. We actually posted that on our Twitter page, so if anyone wants to check it out, scroll down the profile, you can see that. I posted that. That was just a sweet goal. And then they got a 5-4 loss to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which like I wanted to say this like what a brutal name. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Like that
Okay,
just does
so
not go at all.
that's Phillies. That's Phillies affiliate, and that team used to be the Adirondack Phantoms. What do you think is better, Lehigh Valley or Adirondack?
Oh, I mean Adirondack by a mile, but Adirondack Phantoms still sucks too. It's just
I,
Lehigh
I
Valley Phantoms is absolutely brutal.
I love some of these team names in the AHL. They're incredible.
I don't know, man. That do you know what's a sick name, honestly? Where Savoy is the Wenatchee Wild. Like that just rolls right off the fucking tongue. But Lehigh Valley Phantoms, it's like my brain's seriously doing some hard work just to say those 3 words together. Like that's very difficult.
That's funny, dude.
All right, anything else, Ryan, before we wrap up?
I got nothing, man. What games we got this week before we record next?
Oh, dude, it's going to be a busy week. So we got because there's been a little break here recently. The Sabres haven't played a ton of hockey, which is probably good for all of our sanity. But 4 games until we speak next week. Thursday in St. Louis, who's 11-9-1. Saturday in Carolina, where we haven't won since like fucking 2009. They're 13
I
and
think we
8.
haven't. I feel like we haven't won in Carolina since like George W. Bush's like first president, like the presidency.
It's
I mean,
been
it hasn't been that long, but I feel like it might be like the first Obama administration, which is fucking hilarious.
yeah, it's definitely been a long time. And then we got back-to-back home games Sunday at against Nashville, and then the big game Tuesday against Detroit. So we got a Thursday and a Tuesday game, and then we got a back-to-back over the weekend. So lots of weekend
Dude,
hockey here.
we should go to one of those games. We should go to the Detroit one.
Oh, dude, that would be sweet. We'll
We
we'll
should.
figure that out for sure.
Oh,
I think they got the $20 tickets going on right now.
I think that was a scam. Not gonna lie.
I don't think it was. I think they were like, dude,
I can't,
I
I
think
can't be
they
just
all got
saying that.
together. They all got together in one room, and they're like, "Yo, you see this fucking tweet from Saber Spotlight? Like, we gotta lower these fucking tickets."
Dude, we can't be on Saber Spotlight bad side. Jesus Christ, come on. What an exciting week of hockey, man. I'm like I said, I'm just feeling the buzz again. And I know that I'm a fucking homer, and I don't really care. I'm feeling the buzz.
All right, so what's your prediction? What's your prediction for these 4 games heading
All
into
right,
the next week?
we're taking 7 points from 8.
Dude, 7. Wow. Okay.
I'm feeling we're gonna get 3 wins and an overtime loss.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to say that we win in St. Louis. I'm going to say that we 100% lose in Carolina, and then I'm going to give us wins against Nashville and Detroit. I'm going to be somewhat of a
Okay,
homer here.
so
So,
okay, there we go. Is that overtime or regulation against
no,
Carolina?
3 wins, just three regulation wins.
Okay,
But
okay.
partly I'm picking because they have to. Like we talked, they got to start turning
I
around.
know.
So now's the time. Now's the time. And if they don't do it now, it's going to be too late before they know it. So let's do it.
Man, let's go. Let's go Buffalo. I'm super pumped, and tomorrow night should be telling. If they come out hot tomorrow, then I'm gonna be excited and not posting on Twitter. And if they come out playing like shit, I'm gonna be fucking rage tweeting. So we'll see.
All right, everyone. Well, you know what to do. If you've been listening to the show for an hour and a half, that's great. You made it. You finally made it to the end of our hearing us dummies talk. But we are heading out for the night. So follow us on Apple, Spotify. We now have the YouTube channel as well. If you want to go and see our smiling faces, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel there. Turn on that notification bell and be notified when we get everything uploaded there. Rate, review, subscribe, of course. Give us a nice rating in the show notes or whatever on Apple, Spotify. That is always helpful. Tell your friends and family about it. Of course, follow us on Twitter and X. Ryan, want to go ahead and let everyone know what your handle is there?
Yeah, my handle is at RMC1492, and guys, it got me so excited that more people like reached out to us when the Saber Report picked up our tweet. I want to interact with you guys so bad, and I want to get this thing going. I want to get like hundreds of followers, and I want people to listen and give us feedback. Tell me I'm a fucking idiot. I want to go back and forth with people. It really brings me a lot of joy to do this podcast, and it's been really fun. And we're still on the ground level, so I can only imagine like where it's going to go in the future, and I'm so excited.
Yep, well said. And I'm at Matt Walsh PT, also over there on Twitter. And don't worry, Ryan. Until that time comes, I'll call you a fucking idiot. So there you go.
Yeah, that's fine. Somebody has to, because then I'll just my overloaded ego is just going to think I'm right. So
In the meantime, too, folks, if you have any questions or feedback for the show, in the show notes, you can see the email, sabresspotlight@gmail. Hit us up there. But other than that, we are out of here. And we look forward to talking with you guys next week, hopefully after a few Sabres wins. And we'll see you guys then. Peace out.
peace.